My name is Emma. I am 24 years old. I live alone now, in a small apartment in the city. But I wasn't always alone. There was a time when I lived in a small house with my father. And in that house, there was an old wooden chair, my father's chair. Every morning, I would wake up to the smell of his coffee and the sound of his radio. He always sat in that same chair, reading the newspaper, his glasses half down his nose. He never talked much, but he was always there. When I was little, he helped me tie my shoelaces, packed my lunch, and walked me to school. When it rained, he came with an umbrella, standing at the gate, smiling as I ran to him. He never said, "I love you." He never hugged me often, but he never missed a single day being there for me. As I grew older, I started to feel distant from him. My friends had fathers who laughed loudly, hugged their daughters, and took them to fancy restaurants. My father was quiet. His hands were rough from working at the garage. He came home smelling of oil and metal. Sometimes, I felt embarrassed. Once, during a school event, I told him, "Dad, please don't come wearing that dirty uniform." He looked at me silently and nodded. He didn't come. That night, I found a small box on my bed. Inside was a pair of new shoes. He had saved money from his long hours at work to buy them for me. I felt guilty, but I said nothing. He didn't either. He just smiled the next morning, sitting in that same chair, sipping his black coffee. Years passed. I moved to the city for college. Dad would call every Sunday. His first question was always the same. "Did you eat?" Then, "Do you have enough money?" Never "I miss you." Never "I love you." Just those two questions. I didn't understand then that those were his ways of saying both. I was busy. New city, new friends, new life. Sometimes I didn't answer his calls. Sometimes I forgot to call back. He never complained. Just left a message. "Take care, sweetheart." After 2 years, I decided to surprise him. I took a short break from work and went back home. The house looked smaller. The paint was fading. But there he was, sitting on the porch in that same chair, polishing his old bicycle. His hair was more gray now. His smile, still the same. I ran and hugged him tightly. He laughed softly and said, "You must be hungry." That was the first time in years I'd heard warmth in his voice. That night, I noticed his hands trembling while serving dinner. "Are you okay, Dad?" I asked. He smiled. "Just tired, that's all." We talked a little. Mostly he listened. I told him about work, my city, my life. He nodded with pride. And before sleeping, he said quietly, "I'm happy you're home." The next morning, I woke up early. The house was silent. The chair was still. The coffee mug was cold. I called out, "Dad?" No answer. I went to his room. He was lying peacefully, his hand resting near his chest. He looked calm. He was gone. My world froze. Tears blurred my vision. On the table beside his chair, I found a letter. My name was written in his old, shaky handwriting, Emma. I opened it slowly. Inside he had written, "Poem. My dear Emma, I know I was never good with words. I never said much, but every little thing I did was for you. Every time I said, 'Did you eat?' it meant 'I love you.' Every time I said, 'Take care,' it meant 'I miss you.' This chair was my favorite place. From here I watched you grow. I watched you smile, laugh, and dream. When you left for college, I still kept your photo on this table. I was never lonely because your memories filled this room. Don't cry for me. Live your life fully. Be kind, be brave, and remember, I always loved you, even in silence. Love, Dad." I held that letter close to my chest and cried for hours. Every "did you eat?" every "take care," every quiet moment suddenly made sense. I sat in his chair, the same old wooden one, and closed my eyes. For a second, I could almost hear him humming that same old tune, sipping his coffee beside me. That day, I realized something I will never forget. Love doesn't always come through big words or flowers. Sometimes it comes in silence, in patience, in small daily acts of care. Now, every time I come home, I sit in that chair. It still creaks softly. It still smells faintly of coffee and oil. And when I miss him, I whisper, "I love you, Dad." Because now, I finally understand. He always said it, just not with words. Some of the loudest love is the quietest one of all.